All right, welcome to episode 209 of Hobby Hotline. You see, my name's John Newman, Sports Card Nation. To my right, Mr. Oz from the Cousins Collectibles podcast. And we might bring in, there he is. He didn't even wait for
Ah,
me to bring it. The guy just can't wait. So he's doing
I,
pinch hitter
I hit my
duties
marks.
tonight. This guy's been on like 5 podcasts today. So
nice.
why stop now, right? So, what do
Yeah.
you got after this show? I'm scared to ask.
I think a couch. I don't think I'm allowed back.
Yeah. Your wife kicked you out.
It's definitely not been positive.
Well, welcome, guys. Christmas week, as we head towards Christmas, let's talk about our first topic. Let me put up. If anyone wants to join in and be like Danny and be on multiple shows, there's the link. But let's talk about this guy. Where is he? Mr. Corey Humans. There it is. There's the ball in the middle there, and there's the swing, the break, the American League record. Reported, turned down. I heard two different stories: $2 million and $3 million, guys, to sell it on Golden's auction. We all know that auction went final at $1.5 million. Danny had a little battle with Ken Golden on Twitter recently as well.
I'm trying to see if I can call it up so we can get his exact quotes here.
But listen, the guy. Let me just preface this: he bought what $100-$200 ticket to a game at Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. Caught the ball, sold it for 1.5 million. I mean, the ROI is still tremendous, but let's talk about the fact that if he really did turn down 3 million and then it sold, that's a good chunk of change left on the table. And not a great look. I don't think he's worried about that. He's probably a millionaire now, irregardless of turning that deal down. But just some of the thoughts, with that whole deal. Whoever wants to go.
Well, I mean, real quick, I found these screenshots. So Ken Golden is claiming that the $3 million offer was made directly to Corey and Corey's attorney, and that Corey's attorney is the one that made it public. It never came from Golden, and that Golden was only hired after the fact to put the ball up for auction when they had already decided to turn down the $3 million. Take for that what you will. I would have taken the $3 million and gone home as fast as they could have asked the question. If you want to believe Corey and Golden's story, you can. What do you think, Oz?
I mean, obviously they screwed up. They could have had another 1.5 million. But beggars can't be choosers. He made his decision. They went with the auction. 1.5 million is nothing to sneeze at. We can all sit back Monday morning quarterbacks and talk all the smack we want. But if that was us, I mean, it would hurt. It would sting a little bit. Obviously, if you had a difference between 3 million and 1.5 million, yes, it will sting. But at the end of the day, like you said, John, it was a $200 ticket. You go there, you catch it, you put it up for auction, you get 1.5 million. I mean, what the hell? It is what it is.
Yeah, and apparently I don't know how to spell as I look at my own banner there.
Is that a miscalculation?
That's a misspelling, is what that is.
John miscalculated
that's
Judge's balls.
That's a misspelling, is what it. Here's the thing, though. I know Judge reportedly had some interest in getting the ball back. He just signed, obviously, a brand new big deal. I thought he might, and who know, a gentleman by the name of Joe, in air quotes there, from Wisconsin, a high-end memorabilia collector, is the buyer. That's Joe is obviously not his real name, but I thought maybe Judge would be involved in getting the ball back into his personal collection, and especially with that new kind of deal. Maybe I was thinking the Yankees could even make part of the deal. Like, we're just going to buy whatever it takes. We're going to buy this ball as part of this new contract, and but apparently that's not the case. So You know,
what does that tell you when Aaron Judge won't even pay that much?
well, it makes you wonder even if he pays attention. Did he know it was on the? He's got to know. I'm sure someone's got to be in his ear, like, "Hey, that ball is about to be auctioned off, and let's see what it goes for." So, apparently, it wasn't worth $1.5 million to Aaron Judge. So, I don't know. I said when that $3 million offer got turned down, I said then I believe that's going to be a mistake. And yeah, well, listen, it's not, I'm not a Barry Bonds guy. I don't like the whole, you know,
Well, why not?
performance.
Why not?
Well, I don't
Let's
really
get into that.
use.
Let's get into the okay. So we have what Mark McGuire. What do you have? 70 in 1998, right? You had Barry Bonds hit 73 in 2001. You had Sammy Sosa 66 in 98. Mark McGuire again 65 in 99. Sammy Sosa 64 in 2001. Sammy Sosa 63 in 99. So all these guys, they did these records. Obviously, you want to talk about the steroids, but everybody was juicing at the time. Is there ever going to be a time where we turn a blind? What's that?
Ken Griffey Jr. wasn't juicing.
Oh man, come on. He was probably rubbing that stuff just like Barry Bonds was on his skin. It just soaked right in nicely. You just couldn't tell. It looked like lotion. Just because he didn't, his head didn't grow 10 times bigger.
Listen, Oz, if you want to make the argument that Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he started using,
Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, period. He's a Hall of Famer, period. What do you have, 7 MVPs?
Yeah, I agree with you. But the fact is that record was set when he had a hat that was 3 times size that it used to be.
Wait. Let's make a couple important points here.
Okay.
One, the Aaron Judge baseball where we started, not worth the money. Okay. Whether or not the seller lost money is another conversation. But that ball is not worth $1.5 million, $1.2 million. So I just want to, let's be honest about that. The seller's lucky to get that much money. Number 2, Barry Bonds and might be a Hall of Famer, but the years he hit the home runs, I have different questions about that number specifically, even though he might be a Hall of Famer. Sammy Sosa, I don't think is a Hall of Famer, even though he had a couple good years. So I look at it differently. I think Judge, most people appreciate a different generation of hitter that's removed from that, who set, whether or not I think American League record is code word for no steroids. But I think people just want somebody out of that generation. They just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to talk about it. Baseball fans don't want to deal with it. They just want nothing to do with it.
So if some Joe Schmo from another baseball team in the middle of nowhere other than the Yankees had this record this year, do you think it would have gotten as much hype as Aaron Judge doing it in New York?
No, because Aaron Judge is a better name than Joe Schmo.
Yeah. I mean, let's keep it real.
Listen, I'm a New York City kid.
Oh, we know. We know that, Johnny.
Yeah, to say that isn't a factor, I think you hit it right on the head, Oz. I think playing under the bright lights, the Yankees, right? The lore and the history of the ball club. And Aaron Judge, even just his physical, he's 6'7", 6'8", just a big dude. And but what I mean is that ball is just an American League record, which is still a record, but it's not the all-time record. So when I heard he turned down $3 million, I'm like, what is this guy doing? If that's a legit offer, take this through. What did he really think? If you turn down $3 million, right? What did you think that was going to go for? What on the auction block, private sale, whatever? You thought that was going to really bring more than $3 million?
Somebody must have been in his ear, because
that's
probably his lawyer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point. Is not only that, going to auction incurs different fees. So you don't just need to hit $3 million at auction. You don't need to just hit 3.2 at auction. For you to make it worthwhile to go to auction and make more money than that original offer, I mean, you got to hit 3.5 plus. So that's a lot of pressure on the auction. I'm not sure how you make a pro con list, like every responsible adult should, And when you make your pro con list, come up with no to the $3 million. I never will understand that.
It may not be a record. Cooter says that 10 of the home runs were in interleague play, so it's not the American League record there. But obviously, we kid, we jest, and it is. But go ahead.
Now, yeah, when you have an auction that goes for 1.5 million, obviously it's public record. Does that get taxed?
Yes.
So if they would have done a private deal, then that money, 3 million, here it is. Technically,
it gets taxed because there'd be a third party intermediary.
Okay, just checking. All right.
I mean, at that price point, now are you talking at a card show out by the cafeteria?
Yeah.
Are you talking about a wire transfer? I mean, this is probably not a duffel bag. This is probably
okay. Just checking. I don't know how
when I
haven't done a deal over $1 million, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think we only use wire transfers at that point.
Gotcha.
But,
now this is all speculation. I mean, do you think Ken Golden waived any of those commissions?
Yes.
And you do?
No, that's why it's marketing. I mean, in my conversation with him, I mean, he pretty much said that every auction house was chasing this. They're all competing for it. Well, what are you competing? You're competing. A, we can sell it or advertise it better, and B, we're going to charge you less. Those are the only things they can do. And as somebody who's put something in an auction, that's what they do. But that's part of the reason I think it was misleading. I think it's part of the reason that there had to be a guarantee, because there's no other reason to turn down $3 million.
Yeah, when I heard that, I'm like, what is this guy doing? I don't even know the guy, and I wanted to call him and say, take the $3 million, man. I don't know you. You don't have to give me $1, but that's just, I don't see it going for more than $3 million. And you just reportedly turned it down. And I mean, what do you think after taxes, like Ash just asked, and whatever Ken Golden is taking as running the? I mean, what do you think he takes home? I mean, it's all speculation, but
I mean, so when you sell something that high, you're going to get taxed at a tax rate that's going to be close to 50%, even if he gets it back at the end of the year. But he's a financial manager. I mean, so we keep talking about how bright this guy is and how he made this decision. I just can't. It doesn't add up to me. And I'm going to keep saying that. And Ken Golden, if you want to tweet at me again, come tweet at me. It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. This guy had a $3 million offer, and somehow he was convinced to say no, thank you. I'm going to try it another way on a number that was already would have been almost within 200,000 of an all-time record. It doesn't add up.
So what are you insinuating, Danny?
I'm insinuating that he had very good reason to feel confident in turning down $3 million.
Are you insinuating that maybe said party, Ken Golden, offered something other than?
Some people are very litigious, and as cousin and family, I know you understand that. I would never say that. However, I would like to once again question his attorney, who made a public statement on record before the sale that they had a $3 million offer they turned down. This is not rumor. This is not innuendo. This was from Corey's lawyer. Golden's response to that is they had nothing to do with that offer was handled before them, and that Corey magnanimously on his own felt that wasn't fair to everybody to get a chance. So to make it more fair and to make it more transparent, he's that kind of guy. So let's put it up for auction. I don't need the $3 million. It's not fair. Everybody should have a chance to pay me $3 million.
That was mighty big of Corey.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'm tired. What am I missing here?
Now I heard you say something. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, might have hurt his livelihood because he's a financial manager, right? In the financial market. Am I going to go to a guy for advice when he cost himself $1.5 million?
Wait a minute, aren't you the guy that lost him?
You lost $1.5 million per se, and you want to manage my portfolio? I don't know about that.
Did you say, Danny, that Ken had tweeted at you previously?
We had a little discussion.
Oh. Is that public record or is that just
Yeah,
between y'all?
you can check my feed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're off the Ken Golden Christmas card list.
This is not the first time Ken has reached out. I don't know who that Ken knows who I am, but he really likes to come at me. So
Okay.
this is the first time I wrote an article that mentioned him, and Ken, I'm not afraid to say your people emailed me, and then on Twitter the other day. So he's a very sensitive gentleman.
Yeah. Well, listen, he's still, he's for the price of a game at Globe Life Park, right? He's still doing okay. Like, don't cry
Yeah.
for Mr. Humans too much. But I think if it's me and knowing I had that kind of offer, didn't take it, and then it sold for half of that, that stings, right? It's the same thing if you were running like an eBay auction and you were offered like something off eBay that was higher, and you're like, nah, I'm just going to list it for everyone on eBay to be fair and get a fair shot. And then it brings half of that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that wouldn't be disappointing, personally. Like, man, I could have had more of that without the eBay fees. Now, like we said, I'm sure Ken maybe negotiated some of those fees down to get that that ball on the Golden. But at the end of the day, he's gonna. It's almost like we're talking more about the loss in value rather than the ball itself. I think the money has become more the focal point of than the sale itself and the ball itself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, to make even the 1.5 million on that ball, to me, it's a win. You had that offer, quote unquote, of the 3 million, but anything for that ball, to me, I just think, not that it's an achievement by Aaron Judge. He did something great, especially in today's world. I would have taken 3 million. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Aaron Judge did his thing. We're not dismissing that. We're not saying it's not a legit thing, especially now. Let me ask you real quick, as far as sports medicine and how far we've come since the 90s, when it comes to what is considered steroids and what is considered now part of everybody's normal routine. How far has baseball come in allowing certain things as opposed to back then? Do you guys know? I mean,
well, I think that they're testing, right? They're testing. I think there's less. I don't know. This is all opinion, right? It's all speculation. I think there's less people using substances that they shouldn't now, just because of what you're seeing, right? Guys are not getting to the Hall of Fame, right? Clemens, the Bonses, are not getting in, and I think to today's players, right? I think the Hall of Fame does mean something to them. And they see these guys like Bonds and Clemens. And what are we talking about when we bring those names up? Not their records or their totals, right? It's performance enhancers, and they're not getting in the Hall of Fame, right? And so I think that the current set of players are trying to avoid those same pratfalls. Are there people probably using something? Sure, right? Is there loopholes? Is there new
that's
chemicals?
kind of what I'm pointing at. Like, what are the
Yep.
loopholes nowadays compared to what they were, 30 years ago?
Well, I'll go even farther back in history. Jim Bouton, in his book Ball 4, talked about greenies, and the idea that you could take a prescription drug to stay more focused and awake instead of chugging coffee. And they had them out like M&Ms, in the clubhouses in the 60s and 70s, and that was accepted. So there's always been cheating. It's where does baseball fans, it's an arbitrary line. And, to your point is, where are we now? Well, we're far ahead in medicine, legal, than we were before. But, the advantages maybe have changed. Maybe it's not steroids, maybe it's trash cans, and maybe it's, electronic signals. This stuff has always happened.
Yeah.
They talk about, the Bobby Thompson home run, had the light on in center field, or that's never going to stop. The question is what's the current form, who's catching them, and who's getting away with it. And so anytime you can nail an exact person, an exact positive test, you know, baseball world kind of freaks out because they don't get that often, and they know there's so much cheating.
Who was the one of the top players, the younger guys that was I don't know if he was accused or he was found caught doing
Tatis.
Tatis. Now that was a legit. I mean, he was.
Or he's pregnant. I'm not sure how it finished.
And look, I'm glad you mentioned him, Oz, because I just read an article that the Padres are trying to shop him, and the Yankees are reportedly interested. I mean, he's just now there's that stigma around him, right? Can he come back, be clean, and still be a major league all-star? Sure, and I think he's that kind of player who probably didn't need to do that extra stuff, but that's the stigma, right? It's really hard to shake that once it's tied to your name, and that's the risk you're going to take. Like he'd have to play 10 more seasons of great baseball with no issues to be considered for the Hall of Fame. Can that happen? Sure, it can happen, but and then he gets injured a lot, right? So that's a whole nother episode. But I think it's less prevalent now than it was in the 90s. But I just read an article that reportedly says that Major League Baseball used 3 different types of balls,
Yeah.
and they each had a different sort of springboard effect, if you will. And so what I read was basically saying that when the Yankees were playing, they got the ball that goes a little further, right? And so, I mean, I hope that story is not true because that's baseball themselves,
So the
right?
Yankees themselves, like when the
Yeah,
Yankees
that's
played,
not, yeah,
they got the
that's
better
not,
ball.
yeah, that's not a player putting something in their body. That's the league themselves supplying a ball to the field that reportedly has more spring to it. So that as that record was approached, it was more likely to potentially happen. Now again, that's what's being reported. It's not necessarily a fact, but
I'm one for a good conspiracy, but
I mean,
mm,
that's
I'm
bigger than a conspiracy. My man up here is talking about Ken
I
Golden. I
think
mean,
even
Jesus.
even some players have commented on that. Well, listen, I've even if you in the thing I read, even some of the players were saying they noticed
I
different
mean, I
things.
wouldn't doubt it. Honestly, John, I wouldn't doubt it. Now, let me ask you this: Alex Rodriguez, has he, wiped away his stigma, or is he still
I think he ruined it again with J Lo.
besides J Lo?
No,
Like
there's no
seriously.
besides J Lo.
No,
He
no. I just
looked
like
all
as
he
far
looked
as his
he
image.
looked awful. No, I'm serious. His image looked awful. He looked like she was doing community service.
I was watching this match.
I don't know. I think just how goofy he was and some of the stuff he did. I'm not even talking about the steroid stuff. Like just running the bases and yelling at someone when they're trying to catch a pop up and that sort of thing.
I actually
The
kind
whole
of like that.
yeah, well, listen, Little Leaguer Danny would probably like that, but not very professional,
I
right? Like,
still yell "got it" at the outfielders.
the whole Jeter thing and him, where they didn't get along, great, probably didn't help him. Just pretty kind of a goofy guy and vocal. Um, I think at the end of the day, he's still going to be in that category, lumped in with the Bonds and the Clemenses from that era. But I don't know if any of these guys get in, and that's sad because truthfully, they like you said, Oz, they were on that track, no doubt, and
Mhm.
and especially in Bonds and Clemens's case, you could say they already had Hall of Fame resumes before they start juicing. But the fact that they, risked that by doing it, I mean, that's why we're having this conversation
So,
today, and why their plaques are not on the
in
wall.
your guys' opinion, what's worse, Pete Rose betting on baseball, or what these guys did with steroids?
Oh, steroids. I mean, if you believe Pete Rose, right? He didn't bet against his team. Either didn't bet on his team or he bet that they were going to win. I mean, did it affect any games? I mean, I hope he's managing to win games when he was the manager, of the Reds. So Pete Rose is not a great guy, but it's not the Hall of Great Personalities, right? It's the Hall of Fame. He's the hit king. Like him or not like him, he didn't. No one's accusing him of juicing. It was just he broke a rule, but it didn't affect anything that happened. To me, it didn't affect anything that happened on the field. So Pete Rose is all. I think what's going to happen with him, guys. Unfortunately for him, I think baseball is going to wait till he passes away, and then I think they're going to put him in. And unfortunately, that's kind of sad that he's not going to, you know,
It was
enjoy
garbage with
that
Buck
accolade.
O'Neill, and it's a garbage way to treat people.
Yeah. No, he's not. Listen, he's not a great dude. I've had an interaction or two with him in person. Not terrible. I've heard other stories with other people, but I want to comment on this because Rocco says, "Come on, John, are you kidding? Juice balls for Yankee games, and where were all the other homers?" Listen, it's not my article. I'm just relaying the message. Don't shoot the messenger.
Nonsense.
And you can look it up. It's online. They weren't even just saying just Yankee games, but significant games with certain players. There was a batch of balls sent to them. I'm not saying I believe it or it's true. I'm just saying there's a report. You form whatever opinion you choose to. Apparently, Rocco doesn't think it's true. I'm not. I don't know either way. Right. I hope it's not true because that's a whole nother thing when internally the sport is kind of cheating themselves if that's the case. I do know certain pitchers have claimed that you know the balls they noticed some differences in certain games. Again, I'm only relaying what I've read or heard. So again, who knows, right? Who knows?
But I love the
But
exciting chat board tonight. Keep up the chat board, guys. Keep up the excitement.
I really don't want to ban a bunch of people, but I will. I will. So
My
You
thing
know,
we're
is,
late. We're late at night, but we're not that late.
it's
well,
not the after
I
dark
think
special.
I think it's the algorithm. I think it's the algorithm on the title has gotten us in trouble.
Yeah, we've got you're talking about balls, and then who know
Oh
all heck
Jesus!
breaks loose, right? So,
I just
so
think I'm a little jealous if that's the case that New York is getting these balls. I mean, like, what's up with Philly? You know what I mean? Was Bryce getting those balls as well, or I don't
yeah,
know?
I don't know, but again, I don't. It's all speculation, right? Until proofs in the pudding, or someone, and baseball, Major League Baseball is not going to admit that. So
We have a sex chat. I'll be like,
yeah, we don't have one ourselves yet. If you look at some of the pictures of the host, myself included, business would not be very brisk. But
I just clicked
dare
link
to
and man,
dream,
did that
right?
backfire?
Yeah, search at your own risk. We do not. They are not a sponsor at this point. But all right, guys. Any kind of closing thoughts on the ball?
There's nowhere to
We're
go
veered
to
off
close that
into
off.
the steroid era a little bit. All right, let's talk about. I tell you what, I'm not a soccer guy,
Wow, you're
but
hitting my world.
but I watched that final. I watched some of the other games too, and what an incredible final match with Argentina and France. And Argentina goes up 2-0. It looks like they're going to just cakewalk and hold the cup up. And Mbappe says not so fast. And then we went into two overtime periods, extra time periods, and then went to penalty kicks. I saw a lot of people saying, for as exciting as it was, the game shouldn't end on penalty kicks. That you should almost go to like a sudden death, where whoever scores, you play the 2 15-minute extra time, and then if it's still tied, you play till the next goal wins the game.
I bet the over under on total number of penalty kicks. I took
Is that
the over.
is that real?
Seriously, it's true. It was at 9.5. I took the over, and it finished at 9 because they were ahead. So I won.
Oh,
I'm
good
a
for
big
you.
fan I'm a big fan of the penalty kick system.
Listen, me too.
I get.
Real quick, I've
ahead.
never watched a game in my life. Seriously, like never watched a game in my life in person or on TV. Not even little kids. Never watched soccer. I know the game. Obviously, I'm not stupid about it, but just never, it never took interest. I finally sat down. It was an hour before the Eagles game on Sunday. I said, let me just go ahead, see what this is all about. And I was thoroughly impressed, enthralled, excited. I told Tony, I said, you might have a new convert to, soccer fan. Maybe, maybe not. But that World Cup, that was the best that the soccer could hope for. That product that they put out there. I mean, it had everything, Mbappe with the hat trick, Messi, the two goats going back and forth, Messi finally becoming a world champ. Just the penalty kicks. I'm all about the penalty kicks. I thought it was awesome. Just seeing their faces. Mbappe goes out first. He makes it. Then Messi comes up right behind him, real smooth, hits that one. And then it was all downhill for France after that. Argentina doing their thing. To me, man, that was off the hook. I was definitely impressed with that game.
Everybody I know was watching.
Yeah.
It's one of the few times that I can think of. I mean, maybe the Super Bowl if it's a big enough, but where everybody, my mother's watching. My mother doesn't know how to turn her TV on. This is impressive. So
There's another Christmas card list you're off of now.
I've been off that one for years, my friend. Are you kidding? I got a therapist on retainer. So, no, I mean, if you think about it, like, when was the last time you remember this many people all tuned into one sporting event?
But the entire world, Danny. I mean, like, do
Literally.
we have like numbers on that? Like, how many people actually tuned into this? Was this? There's a ticket to the Philly. Oh, okay. I got you, Chris.
There you go. You're in.
I'm in.
You're in. Here's my thing. You know what I don't like? I don't mind, the penalty kicks are one thing. Like when a guy gets like the foul on him and then they get the free kick in front of the goalie, but then anyone can take it. I don't like that. I think it should be the guy who was fouled on. Like every time there was a penalty kick in front of, it was obviously always Messi who took it. I think the guy who gets the penalty on him should have to kick it, almost like basketball, right?
But
You
no,
foul
a
Shaq
foul,
because he
get to
can't hit
choose.
the free throws.
But not on a tech.
What's that?
You get to pick your shooter on the technical fouls.
Yeah, but if you get fouled, the guy shooting the ball has to shoot the free throws. I think if you get tackled, you're about to shoot on net, and then you get tackled illegally, it's a foul, and you get that free penalty kick. It should be the guy who got fouled. Like that's why these guys have all these goals. They've got so many like goals on penalty kicks. It's like sort of, I don't know. I'm not a soccer guy, so take that with a grain of salt.
Well,
I just
did you ever watch the Cosmos?
I was a little kid, but yes. So I remember Pele. I saw Pele in the last kind of stretch of his career as a Cosmo. But here's the thing: imagine you're the guy, right? It's you. You're going towards the net. You're getting ready to shoot on net. You get like manhandled and the foul's called, and then they say, "All right, John, go kick this ball." Like you're the guy. Like, hey, man, that was you don't have faith in me that I can make a penalty kick, 15 feet in front of a goalie who's going to guess either left or right. Even if he guesses right, he might not stop it. And if he guesses wrong, as long as it's on net, we're scoring. Like I thought that, and I knew that before the World Cup. I didn't learn that this year, but I just always thought that was a weird dynamic that the guy that gets kind of crushed or hit or, illegally doesn't even necessarily get to take the reward of the shot and the goal, right? and
Yeah.
just somebody else like, okay, here's our best guy. He's going to add to his point total, and that's why So I don't know. I might be nitpicky, but I'm being nitpicky. So there you go. Rocco's in too with you. Yeah, and listen, we're getting the next one here in 4 years. We're getting them here in the States, right? We're getting them. They're going to be in Canada,
Just to be
here
belligerent.
it's going to be North America. So I don't hate soccer. I just think if listen, if I get tackled when I'm trying to score a goal, why can't I take my own penalty kick? That's all
I agree.
I'm
I
saying.
agree.
You know. So get rid
You
of
took the
offside.
beating. Now you got to get the reward.
Yeah, if I get hacked going to, I'm not a basketball guy, but even in pickup, right? You're going to the rim and you call foul, right? And obviously in pickup basketball, you're not shooting free throws, but if we were, I want to be taking my own free throws out of that deal. So, you know, I don't know, just me, but I tell you what, it was fun, and I think listen, soccer helped itself with
Yes.
this World Cup. I think we can all agree with that. I got my own son who's 22, who will be 26 uh, next time the World Cup is here, and he's like, Dad, we got to go. It's in New York City, so my hometown. It's in, I believe, Toronto, and I know some other cities, and I believe Mexico and other cities in Canada. So. It might be. I don't know what these tickets go for, but I would go. I would travel a little bit, but it'd be nice to see the U.S. team for as long as they last. You better get there quick. But
We're gonna be a much better team in 4 years. A lot of young talent.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I hope so. I hope so. It'd be something to. Can you imagine if the U.S. ever legitimately they ever won their first World Cup? What
Well,
what that would be like?
that's why it's okay to be a fan of the women's team in July. Best
Well,
team in
yeah, I
the
was gonna
world.
say the women are
Uh,
that.
yeah, I love the women's. Yeah.
So let's we talked about the sport, guys. Let's talk about the hobby aspect. Obviously, if you go on eBay or any auction site and look up some Messi and Mbappe cards, you're too late
Yeah.
to get a deal. I don't think you ever were really getting a good a deal, but you're definitely not getting any steals in deals now. It's just crazy what they're going for. For Messi, who announced before the tournament started this was going to be his last World Cup. He's never won it until this year. That was nice to see. You know, reminded me of Bettis winning a Super Bowl ring with my Steelers and going
Oh,
out
jeez.
on.
No, it didn't. Oz
You know,
didn't remind you of that. It didn't remind
Not
me.
at all. That was the last person that it reminded me of. Like I didn't even.
I was not thinking Messi, Jerome Bettis. Messi, Jerome Bettis.
well, I'm trying to draw that correlate. But all joking aside, it was nice to see him, win it. France won it last time, so I was, just on the sake of that, I didn't want to see him win again. And if you think that doesn't mean anything, when they were shooting the shots in the stands or in the country itself, see people weeping, and then the players obviously themselves. It was definitely fun to watch and see Messi hold up that trophy and kiss it and all
Did you
that
guys see?
stuff.
I was scrolling through Instagram earlier while I was delivering the mail, and I seen a post that had the parade in Argentina. Did you guys see this?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
4 million people,
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was more people in Buenos Aires at the celebration of the World Cup than the country of Croatia.
bro. It was
Wow.
insane. It didn't even look real.
Yeah.
My mind was blown. You got to see this, bro. It looked like a bunch of ants just all in unison doing their little thing, and I was like, holy crap, 4 million people. Dude, you got to see it. I can't even put it into words. But if that's the case, if that's true, that's insane.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's crazy. What do you like? The soccer market really made huge strides this year, even leading up, obviously, to the World Cup.
mhm.
I'm not a soccer expert, so I'm going to ask you guys. I mean, what do you think? Like, you think it continues? Do you think it stays on a sort of that incline and leading up to the World Cup, which now comes to North American shores, right? And even more so, is soccer here to stay? Even though there's going to be a 4-year break between the next World Cup, there's leagues will always go on. There's soccer year round. It just may not be the World Cup, but you got all your other professional leagues, including here in the States with the MLS. Do you think soccer even goes up even further?
Well, in my opinion, it's going to ebb and flow. Now that everything is over, you had the World Cup final. Obviously, Mbappe's a freaking beast. He's a freak of nature. I'm surprised he didn't pull it out at the end. His teammates let him down on that one. And my question, real quick, like who, as far as the list of goats in soccer, is Pele still number one? Is it go Pele, Messi,
Yeah, you
Mbappe
got
now?
Maradona's in there.
Maradona,
The big
Ronaldo.
thing with Maradona and Messi was, they were always compared to each other because they're from the same country.
Yeah.
But Maradona had won a World Cup before, so now with Messi winning one, now that argument that what Maradona could hold over him, you can't. That argument's mute. So everyone that I hear from on the soccer expert side said this really makes Messi the best, wins that argument now with Maradona.
But
I
Pele's
don't
still
want to.
number one.
Well, what soccer folks will tell you is Pele
Yes.
played, in a different era. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like I would say like Pele's the Babe Ruth
Yeah.
of soccer.
There are some
again,
fantastic documentaries out right now. While they're still free, if anybody's interested, watch them. Some of them on Pele, some of them on the corruption of FIFA. Some really cool stuff.
Yeah, and Logan, I get Logan comments here. I want to put this up, and then soccer's being hyped similar to F1. The only thing I'll say is there are a lot more people watching soccer when
Yeah.
comparatively
Oh,
to
can
F1.
we still show some cards?
Go ahead, we got time, and then we'll kind of come down with our last topic. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I just wanted to. This is an Mbappe gold sticker rookie.
Nice.
And for those of you who fell in love with Serginho Dest, let me see if I can show this better in the light. Obsidian auto out of 5. Patch rookie.
Nice.
So, yeah, these were some pickups over the last year heading into the World Cup that they had a pretty good World Cup. So, I wanted to show those.
Collector's Dream says Pele is the GOAT. And I think he is. I mean, I think when I think of soccer, he's the first name that pops up to me. And
so
reportedly,
what do you think? What do you think with Mbappe doing what he did and possibly almost winning 2 World Cups, having the hat trick, being so young? Like, is he like the Giannis? Like,
I think, yeah, we got to remember, it's a great point. As Messi is an older player now, right?
Mhm.
He's on the back nine, if you will, to throw a golf reference of his career. He announced this is his last World Cup, so you won't see him in 4 years on the World Cup stage. I think Mbappe, well, how old is he?
23?
22?
24, 23.
Yeah. I mean, that's young in soccer. Guys are playing late.
And he's already had 2 World Cups. Don't forget that this was his second World Cup.
Right.
Yeah,
so that, he can put up those numbers down the road.
Yeah, and he's won one already. Right. So yeah, I think he's the next, young gun, if you want to call it that.
Well,
I mean,
and Erling Haaland didn't play in the World Cup, but he's the other one that I would put.
Explain that to me. I mean, he's like, his cards are worth crazy money, but he doesn't play. Like, I don't understand. Is it just because of where he?
It's like Aaron Judge's season if the Yankees don't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Great season, but now we're talking about everybody else because this is much bigger.
So basically, he plays for who? It's
Is it Norway?
Well, yeah, but it's the regular season. He put up goal records at paces just that people typically don't score at. So it'll be interesting with him and Mbappe, kind of the 2 young goal scorers. Over whether it's league play or country play over the next couple of years, I think they're the two biggest young names, kind of in that young prime era. But
So
I'm
with
far
Holland,
from an expert.
with
Chris
Holland,
Harris,
will he
if you're
ever
listening.
be able to qualify?
Yeah, it's the country. It's country qualifications, and
Yeah.
a lot of these guys end up with dual citizenship and everything else. So I doubt he'll miss World Cups his whole career.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, I would put Mbappe probably ahead of him though, just on the fact that I think he's more of a household name, and we're seeing him on this stage, and but they're both great players. And, you open in a pack of soccer, you hit either one of those guys, you're doing all right. So.
Yep.
I might have to open, I might have to open a little more soccer than I've ever had before. And just watching some of these games, you get to know more of those names and that you don't know. Obviously, we all know the Mbappe's, and Messi's, but
And
some of
you
the
can get
other
ready
guys.
for July. It's not, start buying the women's soccer cards. There's some great players and some great cards out there.
Yeah, yeah. So I think soccer. I mean, this World Cup's definitely going to help the sport. People, like you said, people who didn't normally watch it tuned in. Oz admitted himself. I watched more soccer than I ever had this World Cup, and I watched the final, but I even watched a few of the other games as well, which is not normally what I do. So. Yeah, we're talking about a different one, but hey, he might get a bump from all the
I
Holland
think I think
talk.
he was comparing what it was.
Yeah,
What it's equivalent to.
Right.
yeah. Oh, I got you. Yeah, that's the thing. And if you're a Sacramento King fan, we apologize. And visiting teams do come in there, so you can always watch them
So it's
play.
like
So
Giannis Antetokounmpo and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
This is getting very meta for me. I don't do the European conversions well. There's metric. There's the euro. I'm not sure how we compare that.
Well, one's been there, and the other one's an upstart that hasn't been, but the other one still gets as much publicity, like an SGA.
Right.
His cards are selling
But
like
he's proved it in league play.
right.
So
Okay.
all right, guys, it's Christmas week. We're coming down the stretch. We got about 12 minutes left. We'll have some fun here.
One fridge night of.
I know, Danny. This is not gonna. I'll do Christmas / Hanukkah. Although Hanukkah's.
I don't want a charity segment, please. Thank you.
Well, I'll ask guys, and we'll ask those in the chat. Like, the older I get, man, I don't know what it is. The worse I get at like getting all my shopping and all my stuff done. When I was younger, I'd be done in November. Now I'm like the last week all the way up to the 23rd. I did a little bit today. I'm going to do a little bit tomorrow and hopefully wrap it up tomorrow. Is everyone as bad as me, or am I like the outlier here?
Bro, I'm still like my daughter has the list that my wife gave her, and my daughter's just as bad as me, but she's 11 years old, so she can afford to be that. But apparently my wife gave my daughter her Christmas list to give to me, and this was months ago. Never got it. So today my wife was like, "Hey, did you get my gift?" I'm like, "That's none of your business, but if you want to know, no, because I never got a list." What do you mean? Alexa was supposed to give it to you. I was like, well, I never got any list, so you better figure it out. So I still haven't got my wife anything, but I got a couple days. Don't know when I'm going to do it because working at the post office, there is no damn time to do anything. I'm Santa Claus during the holidays.
So you're the perfect example. Someone's probably should be doing it in November.
Yes. Yes. Now I did get my daughter a bunch of stuff just ordering on, websites and things because she's all into Stranger Things and Funko Pops and different things. So I was able to get those. So she's pretty good to go. It's just the wifey and my other daughter, my older daughter.
So I got my daughter a Amazon gift card from Walgreens. That's about the quality of dad I am right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, she can
now,
get what she wants.
Will you guys get anything hobby related? Will you get cards? Will you get does your family like know enough like to buy you something along those lines?
I've been trying to educate them for the last couple years, I've been getting. Hold on, wait. I've gotten the Carson Wentz bobblehead after Carson Wentz was released from the Eagles and left. So I got the Carson Wentz jersey.
Where's your Nick? What I want to know is where's the Nick Foles Funko?
I would have preferred that one. Instead, I get this one.
Oh.
You know, this is what I get, and I'm just like, my daughter got me this, and it's like, what do you say? You're like, thank you. You know, and he doesn't play for the
I hope
Eagles
she's not
anymore.
watching because right now she'd be like, "Oh, geez, my dad didn't like my present that much."
Yeah, I
Apparently,
still got it out. I got it out.
I
But yeah,
get no-
I've been trying. Like, so this time, I told my wife, I said, listen. She's like, I got you something. I'm not going to tell you what that is. We'll leave that at that. But I got $100. What do you want? I was like, okay, we can work with $100. I'll figure something out. So I told her by tonight I'll have a little, you know, maybe give her 3 things to choose from that maybe, you know, some now Papa Oz will finally get something that he likes.
Yeah, my family, they know me well enough to know they can't buy me anything card related because, you know, they don't know. Number one, they don't know what I have or don't have.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not something that comes up. Like I'm not going to tell my wife, hey, you know, I want a Rocky Marciano rookie. I can tell her that, and she's like, where the heck do I go for that? Is it at Walmart? What aisle in Walmart is a Marciano rookie in? So they usually, I'm not going to get that. And probably better off that way. But for those in the chat, if I'm more like I'll usually buy myself a Christmas card present. When I say Christmas card, I'm talking about sports cards, not the actual Christmas card, and just say, hey, I'm treating myself, and it's Christmas, so I'll do that. I don't know if anyone else does that. Maybe I just gave you an idea.
I do it year round.
I've been doing that for the last yeah.
Yeah, every box.
That too.
Know.
But you can always use
Are you kidding?
Christmas
President's Day is a jumbo box.
Well, listen, it's another holiday you can use as an excuse to buy something off your Target list, right?
There you
go. There you go. I just actually bought a Jack Dempsey rookie. It's coming
Nice.
From England. It's ungraded. I will send that in and see what it grades at. But I'm looking at a lot more boxing cards lately. Maybe it's because I'm a boxing fan. I used to box when I was younger. Huh?
You threw in that it was coming from England.
It's coming from England.
Did you pay more on shipping that you're upset or just a little braggadocious?
No, but let's talk about shipping since you mentioned shipping.
I couldn't help myself, Oz. Couldn't help myself.
Let's just open up that can of worms.
Setup, but it looks like a setup, and it really isn't. This is right. And again, we're having fun at Oz's expense. He said he's not at his expense. Mailman.
My man's got nothing to do with this.
He doesn't have nothing. But I recently did a bulk sub for SGC at our Syracuse show here, over 200 cards, and I sent it 2-day priority insured via the United States Postal Service. So I sent it on a Tuesday. Should have been there Thursday, Friday, worst case scenario. 8, and it gets stuck in Charleston, South Carolina for like 3 days. Nothing changes. I'm panicking. I'm like a little kid. I'm nervous. These are not my cards. There are a lot of expensive cards in this box. The tracking stops. I'm like, some dude took this home and is jumping for joy. It's going to be a good Christmas at this house. What am I going to tell? What am I going to tell these people that I took now I'm insured, but I've never had to file a claim of that magnitude. I'm like, what if that?
So you have like a card collector 2 type thing going on here?
Yeah, I got all sorts of things in my mind. I was like, all worst case scenarios. I'm going to have to leave the country. I'm going to have to change my name. These people are going to be after me, even though I didn't do nothing directly wrong. I'm going to have to stop doing this kind of stuff. I got to go dark.
Yeah,
right?
Can you imagine having to do a podcast with a mask on, John?
Yeah.
The voice modulator.
There's an inside joke there too. So I have insurance, Logan. Logan said, I do, but you never know, right? Can they try to find a loophole? Will they dispute, hey, this card's not worth what you're trying to say it is, and so there's all you obviously it's like what they say with insurance, right? You need it, but you hope you never have to use it, right? So all these scenarios are going through my mind, and I finally contacted them. They put like you probably know, some kind of search or trace on it, and it's weird because the like a couple hours after I did that, it updated and started moving again. So it got there 8 days. I sent it on a Tuesday, 2-day priority. It got there the following Wednesday, and it's on its way back to Syracuse here now for me to distribute back to the rightful owners of these cards. But I know in the chat room I went at odds like, what's going on? So but obviously he has nothing to do with it. But I'm poking a little fun at us.
Well,
and
I don't know if you remember, this was back in November, early November, when it was Eric Norton, when he hopped on and he gave away the Joe Montana cards. So, and I actually was one of the winners, and I sent him my stuff. So he gave me the tracking number back on November 18th. I still have yet to receive this card. It's stuck in Troy, New York.
And it's not that far from me.
No, but it's been there since November 21st.
Can you go get it, Joe?
I don't know where it's probably in a pile of crap somewhere. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Is it postal service? Is it?
Yeah.
Is that how we?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on there? I mean, you're.
It shows all this movement. Like, where's Eric live? Is it Texas?
Texas.
Yeah. So it shows from Texas, and it gets all the way to New York, Troy, New York. Gets to that facility, and it's MIA since the 21st of November.
Yeah. Yeah, Rich. Rich is already claiming stuff as I go into the witness protection program. So I mean, you think you'll see it?
Bro, the same thing happened to me. I ordered something from Germany. It was an Allen Iverson raw card, one of his rookie cards when I first started. Same thing, got stuck in New York for over a month and a half, and then finally it just showed up at my house unannounced. Cousin John the Fugitive.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it happens, bro, but you're good to go. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big nervous guy like I used to be when I was, and I'm like, jeepers, like, what do I, I told everyone, I was very upfront with everybody, because people, message me, hey, is it back yet? I'm like, that's not back yet. It's not even there yet.
See, what happened was.
Yeah,
call your
crazy, man.
To their credit, it was graded very quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was great. They listen. Kudos to SGC. I don't want to make this commercial, but when they did get it, 8 days later, they graded it. They graded it in 1 day, and it's on its way back. So, yeah. But if it was my cards, I think I would have been less worried. But the fact that it was that many cards. And I actually didn't put any my own cards in this bulk order. I don't really know why. I probably I could have found a couple. I was so wanted to get those out as quick as I could and get them done. And the fact that none of them are mine, I'm like, oh my God. And it's the first bulk order I've ever done. And I'm thinking the first one, and it's going to get lost in who knows where. I'm like, this is crazy.
And that's been the one thing with the post office lately. I mean, we're shorthanded everywhere, and that's across the United States. But the priority is on packages. It's like the mail can sit. We got to get packages out, especially priority packages. So that's kind of.
Yeah, there's Herman said he had the same thing happen on there. Maybe it's under a sorting roller. Sometimes I wonder, like, you write out the address. Now I use a Rolo printer, but even before that, I was writing this. What happens if the address becomes, where you can't read it?
Illegible.
It gets sent back to the center.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you always got to make sure you have, your return address in the very least. That way it gets somewhere, if not to the destination, to at least back to you.
And
somebody's enjoying a Joe Montana auto right now. I don't know.
And if you have any complaints,
well, man, I hope that comes in.
Yeah, I've been dying to get that. I was like, I'm waiting. It's going on a month. I'm like, Jesus.
Troy, New York. Well, that's a heck of a place to get stuck.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not. I've been there a few times. It's not that exciting of a city to get you get stuck in. So, well, hopefully, maybe they'll find it underneath something else.
Somehow the
Like,
electric.
yeah. Like, can't you do it? Like, can you? Like, do you have any inside contacts? You can say, "Hey, I got a piece
Yeah,
of mail."
yeah, I've done that before. It gets nowhere, bro. Trust me.
Yeah. No luck.
Nah.
Somehow the electric bill.
Yeah, let me
Never.
send an email to the manager in Troy, New York. They're like, yeah, okay, it's Christmas time, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah, that's cool. Wow, man, I hope you get the Montana auto. You want it fair and square, and hopefully it's not sitting on somebody's desk in Troy,
Either that, or when
Troy,
I
New
finally
York.
do get it, it's smashed to pieces. It could be one or the other. So I don't know how
Yeah,
he shipped
well,
it.
yeah, I hope Eric protected it pretty well. I think
Yeah.
he probably did. Well, guys, any Danny, give out where people can find you. We'll kind of wrap up tonight's show, but I know you did like 5 shows today, so go ahead, do it again.
I'm like Weekend at Bernie's at this point of the night. But you can find me everywhere at Sports Balt. That's Sports BALT, short for Baltimore, and Card Mentions with Mr. Newman.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
and Oz Cousins Collectibles. Well, go ahead.
yeah, cousins_collectibles. And we also have with Shane Norton, aka the Sports Card Nobody, the show The Faction, which we are now going to be releasing this Friday on our platform. So don't forget to check that out.
Yeah, no doubt. And everybody, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate this holiday season. Enjoy the holiday with family and friends, and we'll see you. We'll see you here Saturday, Christmas Eve, back again.
Happy President's Weekend.